Importantly, those cabinet changes take effect November 17th. We are joined on set with our news director and political analyst, Jules Vasquez. Jules, tonight the political chessboard has been rearranged. A major cabinet reshuffle has been announced by the PM today. It shifts players across some of the most sensitive ministries. I want us to, let's break it down. What's really behind this move? What triggered this sudden cabinet shuffle?
Well, again, it was timed, as you said at the outset, to coincide with November 5th, November 11th, to mark the exact 5th year in office. But really, the Prime Minister had a chance to change his cabinet in March, and he did make changes.
Okay.
So it's unusual that 8 months later we will have another change. What I believe, based on our information, it started in a rift with the Minister of Infrastructure, Development and Housing, Julius Espat. Julius Espat gave me an interview on October 6th in which he said he was critical of some of the moves that the government, the Ministry of Economic Development had made to divert the building of a bridge for the first time ever away from the Ministry of Works, MIDH, to the Belize City Council. It was not a good-looking deal because a Lebanese contractor is involved. They allegedly took the original engineer, M&M Designs, they allegedly took his engineering plan and drawings. Controversial, and Minister Espat came out. So that's when we started hearing that the PMM moved on Julius to put Julius in his place. But since then, the PM and Julius have met.
Okay.
And they have found, I believe,
mutual ground
to move forward. I'm told that the bridge project is going back to MIDH from City Council. That's another matter. But Julius, who I believe was the trigger for this reevaluation, is no longer on the table. So then it comes down
to
Karim Musa.
Okay, so
now,
what does this mean for Karim? Is it a promotion? Is it a demotion?
It's a major demotion for Karim Musa, and more than that, it attempts, I believe, to link him, to blame him for Budna. You have to understand the Joseph Budna issue is one of the issues that most concerns the government because it undermines the public trust in the government and the security systems, because it's security apparatus, I should say, because it's clear there is a cover-up. It's clear, the public can see that. And this undermines the public trust in the government. By sending Karim Musa to a lower ministry, away from the police ministry, it is a way of saying this is a consequence of that police-led operation. The buck has to stop with somebody. It obviously won't stop with Mr. Rosado, who they have already said is clear. No other arrests have been made, so it is an attempt to try and say Karim Musa, who I will stress, has maintained two things throughout. Let there be an independent investigation and let the video files be shown. At no point has the government, has the Prime Minister embraced this. So he and the Prime Minister have consistently been at odds. But his being stripped of this powerful and important ministry, this is one most important ministry to everyday people's lives, apart from education.
But a beast.
Oh no, it's a beast, and no one gets out
alive,
exactly from a political perspective. So it's a beast, but he had big projects planned. They have big Kabay money, 1,000 security cameras, multiple police stations. They had a number of big projects. All that is gone. And I want to stress, we cannot forget the statement, the extraordinary, unprecedented statement made by the Special Envoy for Women and Children when she said that, when she made this extremely strong statement against domestic violence and femicides, extremely strong, and said that it was the systematic failure of the police and the justice system to help protect these women properly. But at the end of that release, She said, if you have a problem, you call the minister or the commissioner of police. No, the commissioner of police is not in the same category as the minister. No special envoy or prime minister's wife has ever publicly called out a minister. And
Okay.
that, my feeling, I do not know this.
Okay.
I'm sure she feels very passionately about the issue as special envoy, but she felt enabled to do that because I believe that is how Karim Musa is regarded in the house or in the inner circle of the prime minister. He is regarded as non-serious because of the dance and they make TikTok videos. They regard him as non-serious. Hold on. I understand that appeals to a young constituency, but he's regarded as non-serious, as not, he is regarded as someone who has also challenged Mr. Briceno's leadership 10 years ago. And he is not a favorite of the Prime Minister's inner circle. That is the only way it happens that the Prime Minister's wife addresses him like a child.
But haven't Karim held this portfolio longer than anybody who have been police minister?
I wouldn't say long, no, because if we go back to the 90s, Dean Barrow held it for a number of years. I can't quantify the number offhand.
Right.
But 5 years is a long time to hold it.
It is a long time for that ministry
is a long
itself.
time.
And can't it be said that it's probably opening up the door as well for perhaps a rebrand? Because while you try to make immigration as a lesser ministry, in fact, that in itself is a beast and in need of a lot of different
Yes, but when you have the Ministry of Immigration, really, you work for the Americans. The Americans instrumentalize the Ministry of Immigration. I don't want to be unfair, but they work in close partnership.
Okay. Better choice of words, Jules.
They work in close partnership with the Ministry of Immigration. So I'm just saying...
So are you calling Karim the fall guy for the Budna?
I think the timing of it, I agree with you, you know. Sometimes you need a break, but the time to give him that break was March. The Prime Minister should have said, you did your time, 5 years.
Okay.
Let me take this burning cup from your lips and give you a break. But no, he put it on again. And he put it on him because he's not a favorite of the Prime Minister. All the other young ministers, they got an upgrade, but Karim Musa got stuck again with the Ministry of Home Affairs. And now, taking it from him now, when you should have given him the upgrade in March, taking it from him now is clearly an attempt to try, in my mind, is clearly an attempt to try and link him with blame for Budna. Not that he's responsible, but ultimately you are the minister. It was a police-led operation. Who gave the order? Who was authorized to give such an order? We now know that those police officers operated with some level of clearance. One of them was able to get a gun from his unit, etc. This had to come from higher up. Who gave the order?
What does this mean for the compol? Does it have any implication for Rosado?
I think that we will have to wait and see what the new minister, what he does with the Commissioner of Police and the CEO, Sharol Kar-Saldivar. It will be interesting because there will have to be changes. We know that...
A shift in tone, perhaps?
Well, you see, Henry Charles Osha is a very different person from Karim Musa. In public administration, from what I know, he is, I believe, a bit firmer. I think Karim Musa is someone who works on building consensus through appeasement, to put it nicely. And so you have an appeaser versus somebody who is considered a PUP hardliner, right? Henry Charles Osha is the ultimate PUP hardliner.
So they're the extreme of each other.
While being siblings, and that's a very important undertone in this whole thing.
How does that come across, internally and externally? Because you're losing one ministry from one brother to the next.
I think it's really a kind of invidious move by the Prime Minister to have you replaced by your brother, who is politically, electorally junior to you, because Karim Musa has won 3 elections. Henry Charles has won 1. He won the second one by default. He had no opponent. He has won 1. Karim Musa has won 3 contested elections. However, that being said, Henry Charles is the chairman of the PUP. So he has some political rank. However, it is certainly You know, it can be a good feeling to be demoted and replaced by your brother, who is, from an electoral perspective, junior to you. So now it is very interesting in terms of what will Henry Usher do now that finally
Right.
the greatest security threat to Belize, which is the free zone. It's not Budna, it's the Corozal free zone. That is the greatest security threat. That is now aligned with the Ministry of Home Affairs, which is in
Right.
charge of police.
Which is also for Henry Charles.
Yes, so those two come together. Now, this is the real significant point that's being overlooked. Hosemai was in charge of the Corozal Free Zone. The Corozal Free Zone has run red hot,
Okay.
dangerously hot, and that is why Nitin Bukshani was almost killed 8 miles from Belize City. Because the rivalries in the zone, the zone is controlled by the cartels. The rivalries in the zone are red hot. It has created discomfort, dis-ease, and a sense of disquiet for the Prime Minister of Belize. You have to understand, Nitin Bukshani is the common law of the Prime Minister's cousin. And I think that removing Hosemai from there is an indication of the Prime Minister's displeasure with how Hosemai has managed the entire free zone situation, which I will repeat is red hot. Now, Henry Usher.
I was just going to ask, do you feel like it's a good alignment to have enterprise along with under Henry Charles' portfolio?
It's not a natural alignment. Home Affairs and Enterprise are not naturally aligned.
But we do understand the deeper implications of
well,
what
yeah.
enterprise
So,
is
but I'm
representing.
saying that if you're going to, you see, because whoever works in the free zone, from 2016, I believe, under the UDP, the cartels started to gain increasing influence in the free zone. And that influence has continued to grow. These are Mexican cartels. And I think it will be interesting that because I'm saying that they have always worked in some sort of partnership. Because what is it? What is selling cigarettes? It's an illegal trade. It's legal in Belize. Every politician, red and blue, will tell you it's legal in Belize. But what happens after it leaves Belize? It goes illegally into Mexico, illegally into Honduras, illegally into Guatemala, through multiple legal and illegal border points.
Okay.
I'm just saying, this is what the Corozal Free Zone, yes, other things come out of the free zone, other dry goods.
The biggest is cigarette. That's where.
The biggest is tobacco.
Yeah.
And how does that align? How does that relationship, which is almost institutionalized between the cartels and the management of the free zone, how does it align with the Ministry of Home Affairs? We will wait and see how Mr. Henry Charles works it.
It is a
And if he
huge
can cool down,
endorsement, though, of Henry Charles.
huge vote of
Huge,
confidence
and
in Henry
a
Charles.
huge shift
The
in
two biggest
alignment.
problems the government has, which
Right.
is citizen security.
Right.
People in this country don't
Right.
feel safe, increasingly so. Citizen security and the Corozal Free Zone, which is running red hot. To put that in Henry Charles' hands is certainly an indication of the confidence the Prime Minister has in him. And he is, I will repeat, a hardliner.
Isn't that a good thing at this time?
Well, let us look at it in the Budna case, though. Karim Musa isn't a hardliner. He was deviating from the cover-up script, right? He was deviating. He said, no, cover it up, bring it out.
Right.
So he's gone now. I can assure you, Henry Charles will not say, make we get an independent investigation and let's look at the video files. No, he will maintain the party line. Let us understand one thing as well. Karim Musa, though he may be criticized for many things, for being unserious, TikTok man, whatever, there's a very important.
Hardly a flaw, man. That's.
Yes, but in the judgment of many, older persons who are decision makers in this country, that shows that you are frivolous. You're not serious. I'm just saying we differ.
Okay.
But I will say that under his watch, murder numbers, which are the most important crime statistic, have come consistently down.
Exactly.
Until a very terrible October that saw more than a dozen murders. Every month this year had been down, and 2024, for the total murder count, was the best year in 15 or 18 years. 2025 was on track to exceed that. So you can't criticize him.
5 years holding the portfolio. How would you grade his performance as he leaves?
It's hard, you know, it's hard with that ministry.
It's a make or break politically.
It's very hard.
Right.
But I've seen people do much worse, and I will always commend him for being available, accessible, and answerable to the media. So I would give him, for the 5 years of holding the most difficult ministry, I would have to give him a strong B+. I really would. A B+. I cannot go there too far with strong. But so let's move on to the other.
Oscar Kenya. What does it mean for Oscar?
It's a big, big downgrade
Of course.
for Oscar. He had the biggest budget, the ministry, the biggest budget, and there were a lot of problems. He fumbled it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a big come down.
There's good things that was said about him in rural, though. He was a very strong person in rural, but fumbled in Ministry of Education,
Yeah,
for sure.
he really did, and it's a big fail, and it's a big setback for him. And I think it's humiliating to go back to your previous ministry. Yeah. It's like, you can handle a big-time village boy. I understand prime ministers have to make difficult choices. I don't think the prime minister made it with any degree of malice or wanting to humiliate him, but it was not going well. There was a severe discontinuity between Francis Fonseca's steady management of that ministry. That is a ministry with many demands. Everybody needs, or so many people need, financial support for education.
Seemed like a lot of confusion was happening in that transitional thing.
There was a lot of discontinuity. So he goes back to his previous ministry, rural development.
Is Francis top-heavy once again?
Francis Fonseca becomes a super minister, the likes of which we have only seen before in Dean Barrow. Yeah. Ralph Fonseca, people who were ascending to leadership or enjoyed what they thought, in Ralph Fonseca's case, was a de facto leadership. Francis Fonseca is a super minister. In that bite in that story, he said that it's untenable. Well, here he is doing it again, and he's going to continue doing it. And let me say it right now. If John Briceno were to choose to resign, eventually, for whatever reason, the next man up is Francis Fonseca, which would be like a reincarnation, because he resigned 10 years ago. After the PUP loss in 2015, he said this, he was elected, he said, this will be my last run, I will step down. In his political afterlife, he has gained new momentum, and he is the favorite of John Briceno. So between Francis Fonseca and John Briceno, they literally control close to 50% of the consequential ministries. I would say, you know, if you look at the budgets of those ministries and the importance of those ministries, those two alone are close to 50%, and it shows the level of the prime minister's, I would say it's more than confidence. It's almost like a kinship that he has with Francis Fonseca. So if he were to walk away, if John Briceno were to walk away, I am certain he would give Francis the top.
Is this considered renewal or repair?
Good question. I would say it is considered repair. The PUP has been lurching, as you said, from crisis to crisis since March 7th. It's gotten really bad, and it's not going to get better, because there's so much nasty stuff on the horizon. You know, they've been having a tough time. Okay. So at the 5-year mark, the Prime Minister certainly wanted to send a signal, I want to reset this. I don't know if he convinces anyone other than really, to me, humiliating Karim Musa and putting him in his place. But maybe this frees up Karim to pursue his leadership ambitions, to become a thorn in their side, to become outspoken.
It frees him up for certainly to be able to, you know, consolidate and work harder in his area,
But
build some
you know
ground.
how you build power in politics? You have goods and services. You could turn on that one. You could hook this up. Boy, here, we have this project. Yes, I could help you with that. When
Immigration needs a lot of work, Jules.
Yes, but immigration has, I believe, a very capable CEO, a very capable leadership in the department.
Okay.
I'm just saying, but you don't have that outreach, that,
Gotcha.
that array of powers and resources that you have with the police ministry. It's a downgrade. I don't believe it will allow him to effectively consolidate power. But I think we
Is
have the
there
picture.
any other notables that you'd want to mention, that you'd want to take a look at, that we've missed?
Well, I think Florence Marin is just a journeyman. I don't think he's a favorite of the Prime Minister. He got a serious demotion in March, and now he gets moved again. But
New Enterprises, was it New Growth goes to Mai.
Right, New Growth Industries, which
Yeah.
I think his spin doctors are making a lot out of. I will believe it when I see it. Then couldn't even win a referendum. Right? A village referendum. Then couldn't win a village referendum or go home. You can't win a village referendum. But my point is, I think something needs to be said, or it must be noted for the historical record. We have the pictures with the ushers and the Mr. Musa. Taken a few days ago, it appeared on some government post, and it shows the array of Said Musa's children who occupy senior posts. We have there Major Roberta Usher, 2 places over. You can put the original, because we were just playing a little and we put Henry Charles, but the original is Karim Musa, Roberta Usher, Karim Musa, Francis Usher, and Jane Usher.
Love of country.
Yeah, indeed, service.
Love of country.
But I'm just saying, now we have Henry Charles Usher taking the place of Karim Musa. So we see the rise of the House of Usher, because really the national security apparatus between Francis Usher and his brother Henry, they have it. I mean, I know Mr. Mira is the Minister of Defense, but they have the national security apparatus in the hands of the House of Usher. And the House of Musa is on the decline. But history is long.
Jules, as always,
Yes.
thank you for your sharp insight and your analysis. It's always a pleasure to have you on set to give us some undercurrents and the behind the headlines view of what's going on. And we now take a quick commercial break, and we will be back. That's it for the Cabinet Shuffle. There's still plenty of news ahead. We'll tell you what came out of the Senate meeting today, where they debated the safe third country agreement with the U.S., plus a record blackout across the city. We'll show you how that went. Don't go away.